Based in Crimea, elements of deployed to Crimea. Elements of armed forces, interior troops, border guards, protesters, volunteer units, Russian military forces, protesters, Ukrainian military forces. The Crimean Peninsula, north of the Black Sea in Eastern Europe, was annexed by the Russian Federation between February and March 2014 and since then has been administered as two Russian federal subjects, the Republic of Crimea and the federal city of Sevastopol. The annexation from Ukraine followed a Russian military intervention in Crimea that took place in the aftermath of the 2014 Ukrainian Revolution and was part of wider unrest across southern and eastern Ukraine. On the 22nd to the 23rd of February 2014, Russian President Vladimir Putin convened an all-night meeting with security service chiefs to discuss the extrication of the deposed Ukrainian president, Viktor Yanukovych. At the end of the meeting, Putin remarked that, "We must start working on returning Crimea to Russia." On the 23rd of February, pro-Russian demonstrations were held in the Crimean city of Sevastopol. On the 27th of February, masked Russian troops without insignia took over the Supreme Council of Crimea and captured strategic sites across Crimea, which led to the installation of the pro-Russian Eksenov government in Crimea, the conducting of the Crimean status referendum and the declaration of Crimea's independence on 16 March 2014. Russia formally incorporated Crimea as two federal subjects of the Russian Federation on the 18th of March 2014. Ukraine and many other countries condemned the annexation and consider it to be a violation of international law and Russians signed agreements safeguarding the territorial integrity of Ukraine, including the 1991 Belarusian Accords that established the Commonwealth of Independent States, the 1975 Helsinki Accords, the 1994 Budapest Memorandum on Security Assurances and the 1997 Treaty on Friendship, Cooperation and Partnership between the Russian Federation and Ukraine. It led to the other members of the then G8 suspending Russia from the group, then introducing a first round of sanctions against the country. The United Nations General Assembly also rejected the referendum and annexation, adopting a resolution affirming the territorial integrity of Ukraine within its internationally recognized borders. The UN resolution also underscores that the referendum, having no validity, cannot form the basis for any alteration of the status of, and called upon all states and international organizations not to recognize or to imply the recognition of Russia's annexation. In 2016, the UN General Assembly reaffirmed non-recognition of the annexation and condemned the temporary occupation of part of the territory of Ukraine, the Autonomous Republic of Crimea and the city of Sevastopol. The Russian Federation opposes the annexation label, with Putin defending the referendum as complying with the principle of self-determination of peoples. In July 2015, Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev said that Crimea had been fully integrated into Russia. Crimea became part of the Russian Empire in 1783, when the Crimean Khanate was annexed, then became part of the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic until 1954. During the first stages of the Russian Civil War, there were a series of short-lived independent governments, but they were followed by White Russian governments. In October 1921, the Crimean Autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic of the Russian SFSR was instituted. After the Second World War and the subsequent deportation of all of the indigenous Crimean Tatars, the Crimean ASSR was stripped of its autonomy in 1946 and was downgraded to the status of an oblast of the Russian SFSR. In 1954, the Crimean Oblast was transferred from the Russian SFSR to the Ukrainian SSR by decree of the President of the Supreme Soviet of the Soviet Union to commemorate the 300th anniversary of Ukraine's union with Russia. In 1989, under Gorbachev's perestroika, the Supreme Soviet declared that the deportation of the Crimean Tatars under Stalin had been illegal, and the mostly Muslim ethnic group was allowed to return to Crimea. In 1990, the Soviet of the Crimean Oblast proposed the restoration of the Crimean ASSR. The Oblast conducted a referendum in 1991, which asked whether Crimea should be elevated into a signatory of the new Union Treaty. By that time, though, the dissolution of the Soviet Union was well underway. The Crimean ASSR was restored for less than a year as part of Soviet Ukraine before Ukrainian independence. Newly independent Ukraine maintained Crimea's autonomous status, while the Supreme Council of Crimea affirmed the peninsula's sovereignty as a part of Ukraine. Ukrainian authorities limited Crimean autonomy in 1995. In September 2008, the Ukrainian Foreign Minister Volodymyr Oryko accused Russia of giving out Russian passports to the population in Crimea and described it as a real problem, given Russia's declared policy of military intervention abroad.